Over the past 6 months, these items have been destroying our server, ranging from abilities that can do half your health in the blink of an eye to literally making you immortal. It's safe to say that these items not only hold godlike power, but the power to bring upon destruction and pure anarchy. That's why, over the past 6 months, I've made it my goal to rid the server of these items, for good, never to be seen again. However, this isn't where our story begins. Meet Bolt's Assassin, an anonymous player who surprisingly has the same end goal as me, voiding these mythics for the greater good of the server. Bolt's Assassin was once a player like me, and he knows the immense power these mythics grant the user. So when I discovered his intentions of being on the server, I decided I would help and fight alongside him. And fight, we did, as we had found the mythic holder's base and began attacking. Dead! Initially going into this fight, I believed that there was a decent chance that we could emerge victorious. However, Biko had gave me a rude awakening to reality. These mythics are truly too powerful for this server. As weeks of constant fighting went on, the enemy team had finally blundered. Releasing a trap originally planned for the assassin, the sheer amount of TNT had accidentally killed Biko, the wielder of 2 mythic items. However, Bolt's Assassin was only able to snag one of the mythics, with the other one being wielded by Turtle's Boy. In the end though, Bolt's Assassin stuck to his original goal and voided the Dragon Egg, ultimately completing his mission of bringing the server one step closer to balance. However, where one story ends, another must begin. Only one of the mythic items was gone. There were still 2 more on the server, and another one just on the horizon of being released. I knew that getting a hold of these items would be no easy feat, and required a lot of brainstorming to figure out how I would go about getting rid of them. However, my brainstorming was short-lived, as the aforementioned unreleased mythic event had begun. In order for me to destroy this new mythic, I would have to work towards releasing it onto the server first. So with my goal in mind, I prepared for the unexpected.
Every 2-3 days, there will be like one major event to have a chance at getting the cipher, right? And each event is going to get progressively harder and harder. So the first event is just going to be a simple Juggernaut event. There will be 2 more guests joining me in a second. One of the 3 people will have a item called Dragon Essence, which I'll give out to a random person. Your goal is to kill them. You guys are going to start the event. Good luck and have fun.
How are you still on planet Earth? There's a new helmet! Oh, boost! Dead!
No!
What is it? I don't know what does it look like? After fighting for literally 40 minutes, we had finally killed the Juggernaut, getting a hold of one of the 3 fragments needed to craft the scythe, overall putting us one step closer to bringing it onto the server so I could permanently destroy it. Although this first task was fairly easy, the Prophet warned us that the following challenges would not follow suit. So when the second event was announced, I headed to spawn and awaited the task assigned to us.
Basically how this event's going to work today, you're going to have to work together for this event. There will be a meteorite crashing down somewhere on this map. It's going to request a couple stuff from you guys. Working together is important. And this is the event now.
The dragon has scattered its cores across the world. Retrieve them to bring back the ancient era, the golden era. Return them to the podium and bring back the weapon that was locked up for centuries. Remember to stay vigilant. One mistake and you could cause the entire world to burn. Good luck.
I'm horrified.
Super overkilling.
Wait, before everybody scatters off. Wait, y'all, okay. What the fuck?
What?
What's wrong with that?
Send into the crater and make your offering. Oh. Whoa, what the? I was here literally yesterday. Offerings to the meteor. Right click with your offerings to the meteor. Okay, nether stars low-key aren't too crazy. The watts are crazy though, 250. After discovering what laid at the bottom of the meteor, we realized that we would have to sacrifice a lot of resources to obtain this fragment. However, going into our e-chest to get these resources wasn't allowed, meaning that we had to give up whatever was on our person. Even with all the people online, our resources pooled together wouldn't be enough to cover a fraction of the cost for this shard. That's why the Prophet decided to give us quests that we would have to complete in order to knock off some of the total items we would need. However, as I mentioned earlier, this would not be an easy quest.
Every obtainable block plus go.
Oh my god.
No! Why don't we just split the tasks into groups?
I was gonna suggest that we could do like the different dimensions. Like people should prioritize overworld, people should prioritize nether, people should prioritize end.
Do we want to? Overworld has by far the most.
Whoever has the ends of
Well, we'll just have the most people in the overworld.
Me and
then.
someone else. Okay, who wants to go with me in the nether? I'll do nether with someone
I'll go with
else.
Nazi. I don't really mind.
Okay,
who wants end? Two people in it. Well, no, one person in it.
Fine, I'll go to the end. I'll go to the end. I'll go to the end. After dividing up the work amongst the server, I was tasked with getting every obtainable block from the end. So I began making my way over to the stronghold, determined to do what I could to obtain this fragment. That should be everything. After gathering every obtainable block from the end, we had completed 2 out of the 3 dimensions. However, the sheer amount of blocks from the overworld were too much for the very few amount of people online to handle. So the Prophet began assigning individual quests that others could do to chip in towards the total. After some time, a decent amount of the resources were gathered, and all that was left to obtain the fragment was the wattage. So after hearing that we had only 27 more watts to go till our goal, I decided to pitch an idea to a fellow server member. Where's Ona? Ona, you don't have any spare watts, do you, anymore?
I gave up every single watt I owned.
If you go to 0 with me, I'll go to 0 with you, and we can get 20 right now.
Did I?
I'm being so serious.
I'm going to 0 then.
After handing over all of my watts, officially setting myself to depleted, I went over to the crater to witness the second fragment being released onto the server, with there being only 1 more left to obtain. Knowing this, I knew that time drew near to the scythe being released onto the server. Not only that, all the fragment holders had decided to give their shards to a player named Ona. This would normally not be an issue, however Ona was teamed with Biko, the player that Bolt's assassin had to battle to bring the server to balance. Unfortunately though, that balance was very short-lived, as Biko had gotten a hold of a new mythic, the Master Bolt. A mace-like mythic with the potential to one-shot you when used correctly. With all of this in mind, I knew that I would have to do something. However, I didn't have enough time to figure out the exact details, as the day of the event had arrived, and the time to act was now.
The event is going to be based on the Tempest boss. If you go look to your right, the last pedestal you will need is going to spawn in. The last item you need for this event will be for that pedestal there. I hope you guys can hear this, but here you go.
Long ago, there was an ancient being called Zeus. He was all-powerful, all-knowing. Until he was slain and never seen again. However, ever since the fragments have been collected, he has been reincarnated. Find him, collect the last fragment, and craft the mythical item lost to time.
Oh. Holy shit, why is it so loud?
I'll be going over here.
I don't know why it's so loud.
Come here.
Oh, it's awarded! Goodbye, everything! Who the f is it after? Why is it following me? I'm so scared.
Hello?
What is that? Hey, wait, is it immune to bow damage? Whoa! 1.3, get me out of there! It's in the web with the thing, bro. I was horrified. After defeating the boss and the final fragment now being obtained, I knew it was only a matter of time before the scythe was crafted. However, the ritual to craft it would take time, so if I were to make a move, I would need to do it now. Although I had considered fighting Ona for the scythe, I decided I would go a different route than usual. Ona, bro, come over here really fast. I want to talk to you. Okay, I just wanted to come talk to you because I just want to know what your intentions are with the scythe, because as you know, your team does not have the greatest reputation when it comes to mythics, primarily just because you guys, you know, go around killing people with them and making it so that people don't, like, you know, enjoy having them on the servers, which is why, you know, the assassin got on and got rid of, like, you know, 2 of them, and we're left with the axe and the mace.
Yeah.
So I just want to know what your intentions with the scythe are. I heard that you wanted to, like, use it for a week and then get rid of it. I feel like, if anything,
I
you
just
should
wanna
just
get
get rid of it instantly, because then people are gonna have prejudice
my thing.
against you for using it for a week just to kill them, and then, you know, like,
The thing is, like, I want to finish up my revenge, as you know. I want to get back at the people who wronged me during both Assassins Arc. Once I'm done with that, I don't want the scythe to be on the server. I'm just using this as a boost to finish what I need to do. And then
well, yeah, see, but I feel like that's just gonna fuel people not liking you more, is what I'm saying. I feel like you already have your, like, little mace thing. I feel like if you really want to do what's good for the server and you're going to ultimately void it anyway, just void it from the start.
If I void it from the start, what came from this entire fiasco, right? I gave up everything.
Well, the same thing could be said for if you're going to void it in a week. What was the point of doing all this if you're just going to use it temporarily and then get rid of it?
I'm not gonna lie, you do make a good point.
I believe we have the same end goal, and it's just to, like, you know, have
just
peace
timing
on the server.
I don't want mythics to be the cause for conflict anymore. Like,
Yeah.
all conflict on the server stems from mythics.
Yeah.
Right? If all the conflict stems from mythics, I want to get rid of all the mythics, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, if I get rid of all the mythics, what's gonna happen after that? What's gonna happen to the server? Nobody's gonna, like, what conflict is there? Like I don't know. I want peace, but, like, sometimes peace is, like, it's skewed. Everyone worked together for this event. If I instantly void it, I don't want to start a conflict with that, you know?
Okay, well, see, the only reason people are working together is because they all want their hands on the mythic, is the thing. See how that's the only time we can cooperate as a server is for the cause of destruction. I feel like if your true ultimate goal at the end of the day is just removing all the mythics, you should just start as soon as possible and get rid of it right now.
I think I'm not gonna lie to you, you've actually, like, convinced me. I'm not gonna lie to you. The minute this thing enters my inventory, me and you can head to the end and finish this once for all.
After having a talk with Ona, I had somehow managed to convince him to void his scythe, the very thing he poured tons of resources into. Ona and I began making our way to the stronghold, to chat one last time about our plans for the mythics on the server. We debated about the future of the server, what would happen to the power dynamic without the mythics, and so much more. But in the end, we had the same goal. Eventually, Ona's teammate Biko arrived and stated that he was in with our cause, and was willing to void his own mythics as well. So with all of us on the same page, we believed that getting rid of them as soon as possible was the best answer. However, there was one slight issue. There was one more player unwilling to give up his mythic, and that was Turtlesboy. Turtlesboy is the holder of the shield. I mean axe. I don't know, bro, it got changed. Knowing that Turtles was too stubborn to give up his axe, we knew that we would have to pry it off him. I decided that I would be the one to handle Turtles, and that's when Ona had gave me something to aid in dealing with him.
Technically speaking, I'm not allowed to keep this past today, but it doesn't mean no one else can have it. I'd rather just hand over this to just Austin for just now. Because at the end,
Ona had gave me the dragon egg, the mythic that Bolt's assassin had taken to the grave with him. But here it was, sitting right in front of me. How Ona got it was unbeknownst to me, but I knew that I couldn't let it fall into the wrong hands, so I took it. However, I didn't feel great about it.
Yeah.
I need some time to collect my thoughts anyway. I don't know what to think of this. While I was gathering my thoughts, I was alerted by another player named Noxify of an opportunity to jump Turtlesboy. Noxify is someone who shares the same goal as me, which is the removal of the mythics from the server. So when he informed me of Turtlesboy's whereabouts and how he was actively fighting him, I needed to quickly re-meet with Ona and Biko to solidify their allegiance. So, hypothetically speaking, if I were to go to spawn and start jumping Turtlesboy, would you guys intervene in any sort of way, or would you guys kind of just, like, sit there and let it happen?
No.
I'd honestly speaking, I'd help the side jumping him. I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't interfere. Like, I wouldn't want to fight against him. I wouldn't fight with him.
After solidifying that Ona and Biko had no intention of aiding Turtlesboy, I decided that it was time to take the mythic off his hands. And after finding where Noxify and Turtlesboy were actively fighting, I knew that it was now or never. Turtles Boy had escaped from us. This was really bad, as Biko and Ona had gave me a deadline to kill Turtles Boy by the end of the day to fulfill their end avoiding the mythics. I began searching around the entire server for him, hoping to spot him and get another shot of killing him. But as I was searching, something completely unexpected happened.
Come here.
What? He voided himself.
Did he die?
Yeah.
At first I was skeptical. Why would he just randomly void the mythic? Did he not want it for himself? What was the purpose? So I went into the call that Turtles Boy was actively in to investigate, and after hearing from a trusted source as to what had happened,
Austin, the totem literally popped. Like, I've watched the totem pop. I watched him hit tab. I watched him open chat. Like, unless he just like fabricated your guys' future chat messages like 2 hours prior, then it happened.
it was truly done. Turtles Boy had gotten rid of his mythic item, and now because of this, there were no more obstacles in the way preventing Biko and Ona from getting rid of their mythics as well. For good. Once and for all. So for the very last time, Ona, Biko, and I made our way over to the stronghold.
Let's go in.
I think, at the end of the day, mythics weren't meant to be on the server to begin with.
When are we jumping? 3,
I don't know.
2, 1.
I know, it's so awkward.